All right, I appreciate you all letting me join the group today and have a conversation about my favorite subject, which is training and learning services. I know it's probably yours. I call it value of staff enablement because it sounds more exciting than training. Everybody kind of takes training for granted, but really, from a training perspective, technology is moving at such a breakneck pace today that it behooves everybody to make some time in your day to, even if it's 5, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, to kind of do a little bit more to emphasize what needs to be done from a learning perspective. This is my contact information. A lot of you are my customers. I'm a senior training consultant based in the Charlotte office for ESRI. I've been with ESRI for 5 years, and I support Virginia and the Carolinas for state and local government. So I'm sure if I haven't talked to you already, I'll be talking to you sometime in the near future. I work with all the different teams, from the account managers to the SEs to the training technical associates. This is really what training comes down to for me. Is it's about people. And this is a quote that one of my peers either stole, dug up, or invented. I don't know which of the top three it was, but I thought it was great, and I put it into my presentation. People are the most important part of GIS. In order to fully utilize our technology, training is essential. I think that really says it all. Training and learning services is what I do for a living. And I know a lot of people think that it because of the crazy schedules that we keep on a daily basis, it's tough to fit us in sometime, even on a weekly basis. But really, as I said earlier, given the technology that we work with today, the changes, the upgrades, the new versions, it's just moving faster than ever. I'm considered a relic. My kids consider me a relic, especially when I ask them a question about my new cell phone and they laugh at me and go, "You really don't know what does that?" And I'm like, "Well, I wouldn't ask the question." And really, they grew up with this technology, so it's different for them. With me, I had to really work hard at it, and I'm still not the most technical person in the room by any stretch of the imagination. But I think what ESRI offers from a training perspective and from some of the learning teams we have is really an advantage to you as one of our customers. What's nice about ESRI is that we have so many options, not only for customers, but for people around the world. It doesn't matter if you're an ESRI customer or not. Why training is beneficial for an organization: increased job satisfaction, morale, and employee motivation. I think those are key. If you feel better about your job, you know that your employee is investing in you, it's going to make a difference in the long run. Increased efficiencies in process resulting in financial gain. That's financial gain could be a lot of different factors. It could be projects that were won from upper management through budgetary items. It could be a lot of different things that we could factor in. It goes from the individual to the agency to the organization. And it goes across all different specters of what you're trying to accomplish, either city, state, or local government. Increased capacity to adopt new technologies and methods. As I said before, it's coming out every day. I mean, ESRI is in retrospect to some of the companies that are in our different, technology that we deal with on a daily basis, is a fairly small company. It's a well-known company, but it's a fairly small company. Think about what's going on in other companies from a technology standpoint. Ours is moving at a pace that you can't keep up with. Everybody else is moving twice as fast. Increased innovation in strategies and products. As I said, it's a nonstop moving target when it comes to that. And then reduced employee turnover. Really, all of us have faced that. ESRI's faced it. All of you have faced it, where there's a lot of turnover, a lot of change. People are retiring. People are moving to different areas of interest in their lives. If we're investing in our employees and our employees are reinvesting in themselves, it's going to make a big difference in turnover, and it's going to keep the team together. What ESRI has done, I think, is unheard of. As far as the training and level of resources that they put into their learning capacity. It takes typically 6 to 9 months to develop a class, with all the research involved, the training involved for the instructors, all the things that are needed to put a class together. They've got over 600 plus resources in their course catalog. And as I said earlier, you don't have to be an ESRI employee to be able to enjoy the wealth and be able to use this resource. If it says free, it could be anybody. If you have high school or college students that are interested in the technology that you make your living on, and they want to know more about it, or they want to, invest in it for their future, they can go on they can go on the ESRI site, esri.com/training, and they can take any of the free courses that are out there. The difference from you as a customer is that you pay maintenance on your licensing. So there's additional classes, hundreds of additional classes that say required maintenance. Those are classes that are included in the free classes. They make up 3/4 of what we have out there. And then there's other things that I'll get into in a little bit here. The training products, providing individuals with organizations with high impact results. We break this into 3 areas. As I call the establishing understanding and some of the things that are under the developing GIS professionals, I kind of call those appetizers. The MOOCs, and I didn't name this, but it's massively open online courses. That's what it's called, and they're great. I'm sure there's a few people in this room and a bunch of people online that have taken them. There's 6-week courses. There's usually guest speakers, there's videos, there's shops involved in it. It's a self-paced course that you take over time. The last one was imagery in action. They had a spatial analysis one. They had spatial data science was the latest one as well. They have them on a quarterly basis. And if you get a chance, it's pretty easy. It's about an hour out of your week. Sign up for one, give it a try. They're great. We have training seminars, videos, and hands-on learning labs, and then we have web courses as well as tutorials. As I said, I call those kind of the appetizers because the main courses are instructor-led courses. Those are 1, 2, or 3-day courses that are a foundation for our learning. Anything that you can learn in the pre-em courses just really prepare you to be able to take the instructor-led course. And the instructor-led course will give you everything you need to really understand the technology and move forward within on a daily basis with your day-to-day activity. We also have learning plans and technical certification. I'm going to go to the website at the end of my presentation. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a navigation or navigate through the website. I'll show you what that's all about. Learning plans and technical certifications. Expanding usage across the organization. Workforce development plan is first on the list. A big part of what I do is workforce development plan and training plans. A workforce development plan is basically an overarching document that typically is for an agency or an organization where I get into meetings with the different agencies within the organization. I figure out what the roles and responsibilities are. I figure out what their training path needs to be. And I put a document together that's typically a long-term document to follow, whether it's 6 months, a year, or 2 years. That's something that we do usually in a mid to a larger size agency or state and local government, where they really need to understand what their vision is over a 2-year period. Then we break it down, and I'll get into it a little bit with learning plans, but a training plan is a little bit more of a specific one where it's more of a group size or a team size, where it gets into the same roles and responsibilities, the classes that need to be taken, what order they need to be taken in, and how the path moves forward from a learning experience. Custom coaching. Coaching is something that I'll talk about as well. It's in addition to the instructor-led courses. If you have a 2-day course and then we add a 3rd day as coaching, what it does is whether it's online or whether it's in person on your site, you would have the 2-day class, and then the instructor would stay for a 3rd day, and everybody in the class would have the ability to take a practical application of what they've learned over the last couple of days, apply it to their own data and their own projects by working with the instructor. It's really a great addition to a class because it gives you a better understanding of how it applies to what you're doing currently. A lot of times people will take these classes, say they're taking a migration to pro class and they don't use it for 3 weeks. A lot of times you're gonna lose a good portion of what you learned over those 2 days because you didn't apply it quickly enough. In the coaching day gives you the ability to not only apply what you've learned, but ask questions when you run into issues. And you're using your own data so it's familiar to you. Coaching days are good. And we also work with our customers in capacity. If you have a 1 or 2 day class, or 2 or 3 day class, and you know it's tough to get people out of the field for 3 or 4 days, we can abridge the class to a point where it makes sense to your team and then add that coaching day, because I think the coaching day is as important as some of the lessons that are on that training class. So we'll work with you from a custom capacity. Custom training is similar to that, except we take subject matter that you're interested in that we don't have a specific class for. We have a custom team out of Redlands, California, and we will sit down with you, figure out, whether we can pull it from different pieces of the puzzle, meaning different parts of other classes, or we have to reinvent the wheel in some cases, but we will do custom training for you. It could take a matter of months to put together. As I said, the process is not a hurry up kind of process. But if you're willing to invest in something like this, we will do custom training. Curriculum advisory is really what I do in helping customers to better understand what their needs are from a training perspective. And then strategic adoption consulting. We have a team that specifically works with customers around adoption and communication strategy. If you've got a project that you're trying to sell to upper management and you're trying to put a plan together, we can help you with that. If you've got a whole team or an entire agency of people that you've got to roll out a whole new technology to or a new software package, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be against this because they're used to the old ways and don't want to make a change, we can help you with that. Even if it comes down to just getting emails out to your peers or to your team and making sure they notice those emails because they know what's coming, so that they remember or they read them and they know what's coming down the pipeline, we can help you with that. It also gets into more of a project base where it's change management style and some of the things you need to do. So we have a whole team for that. LMS integration and SCORM. LMS integration is where we take all the e-learning, the videos, the tutorials, the web courses, and we put them on your LMS system. The reason we do that is because a lot of times if we keep it behind the firewall, you're only using one sign-on and one password. It's easier. I worked with the Northeast for quite a few years, and I know that NYPD had 36,000 police officers, and getting them to remember more than one password was like trying to pull teeth. So they asked us if we had something that they could use, putting our LMS system, our LMS integration package together and putting it onto your LMS system where it can be run by your HR or LMS team, where they use it just like they would use it every day for security or for bringing on new people onto the organization, where they have to take all these different signing in papers and taking different tests and training. It's sitting on your LMS. And what's nice about it is the individual can take a class and it'll roll up to their management. They get recognition for it. You don't have to go outside of your firewall, go to my ESRI and pull all that information off. It can be actually set up on your site. SCORM is something similar, except it's the entire catalog, instructor-led classes as well. That's expensive. I won't lie. It's typically like Red Cross did it because they had such a need to go across their organization. But it's an option for customers. If they want all of our content, we can actually put it on their LMS system. This is a little redundant, but I just wanted to go over it again. Is the instructor-led training classes are 1, 2, 3 day courses with instructors. We have public online classes, which is for individuals. And then we have the private classes. If you have a team of people that want to take one class on your schedule, we will up to 15 attendees. We will put it on your site or we do it virtually, and it will all be It'll be for you specifically. You pick the dates, we set up the instructor. It's just like it would be online or in person. It all depends on what's better for you. The web courses are typically 3 hours self-paced online. Training seminars are 45 to 60 minutes. And then we talked about the MOOCs. They're 6-week courses. 3 levels of engagement. Really want to put a workforce development plan together. As I said, I get into the levels right down to the individual. I can work with an individual, with a team, with the agency, or the entire organization. I've done all of that with different different local and state governments from Maine all the way down to the Carolinas. Individual wise, if you have somebody in your team that just needs help, they're new to GIS or they're new to your organization and they need to understand, how it works, what you're using, whether it's a development tool or whether it's just spatial analytics or whether it's, it's just pro, I can put a training plan together for them. Department wise, it's typically more of a 3 to 6 month plan where we're putting plans on training plan together, which is, I said, a more specific plan. And then the enterprise, which is the workforce development plan, which is a much larger plan. And it can be all done, I've actually sat down with each department and talked to the heads of the department and the individuals to put a plan together. So my job is to do whatever it takes to make your learning experience more enjoyable going forward. And then cross-organizational effort. I mean, we don't just talk in the old days, a lot of times it was siloed. It might be that way right now in your organization. It all depends. I mean, I've run into walls where one department wouldn't talk to the other department, wouldn't share data. In this case, we try to share the wealth from a training and learning perspective, whether it's from the change management team to us. We're trying to make sure that if you have an opportunity where you want to have a private class, that you can share it across agencies if needed. And also LMS, I mean, there's just so many things that we can share and we can do together that it would make more sense to do it from a more of a collaborative effort than a siloed effort. Before I jump to the website, is there any questions or anything I can answer? I know I went through that quickly, but I'm the only thing between you and your car, so I just wanted to make sure that we're doing good. Yeah. No, they're free. Yeah, they're free. There's anything on the e-learning side, whether it says free or required maintenance, you don't have to get permission from anyone. They're all to a cost, every customer, it's free. There's no additional cost. When you get into additional costs is the instructor-led classes, whether it be the public class or whether it be a private class that we put together specifically for your organization. And they can be paid for in the normal ways, credit card, PO, or they can be paid for through credits. We have training credits that you can buy, and they're good for a year, and you can buy them in bulk, so that if you had multiple classes that you wanted to plan out over the year, but you didn't have specific dates for them yet, or you didn't have complete approval for them yet, you could buy credits and then use them as you need to over time within a year. So you can use it that way. And the credits are, they're a little bit easier to deal with from a budgetary standpoint, because you only have to get them once. You don't have to go back to the well every time you want to get another class, spin up another class with us. So it's easier from a budgetary standpoint. You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, let's see how I get to the website. All right, the web link that you saw in my presentation, which is ESRI training, ESRI.com/training, would take you to the ESRI Academy. this is a fairly user-friendly website. The reason why I'm here is because there's so many options that I help you to kind of coordinate that, as well as all the other things that I work with the local and state governments with. But if you look at this, you can go up here and all the different the drop downs where you can go why ESRI Academy for industry, for individual options and formats, organization, and unlimited e-learning. Catalog wise, you can do it in a lot of different areas where you want to understand by schedule if you already have a course in mind, location if you want to take advantage of some of the courses that we have, public courses that we have at different locations around the country. And then course catalog wise, if you go on the course catalog, if you notice there's 621 results. If you just typed in pro, now it's 327. That's about half, but it's not helping you to really understand what you need to take from a pro perspective. So you can go to the radio buttons and you can click on getting started. And that brings it down to 18. You can either go from concepts or ArcGIS. Now it gets you a little bit smaller, but you still have some questions around it where you got learning plans, web courses, you've got tutorials, instructor-led. What do you take? That's why I'm here. But just to get into the learning plans, as I had said earlier in my presentation, I would talk a little bit about learning plans. Learning plans is a document that I either put together for my customers, is already planned out on the website, or you can put them together if you wanted to for your team. What it is a living document that sits on your ESRI dashboard, and it's classes that are set up for whatever subject matter that you're interested in the order to be taken. That way, there's no confusion on what to take. Now, what's nice about a learning plan, and I put specialized ones together. I've got about 350 of them sitting on my site that I've put together for customers over the last 5 years. And I use them and update them back and forth. So you've got all of these classes sitting there. I don't typically put an instructor-led class within this because there's a cost involved with that. I usually leave them out and put them as a secondary a supplement. But in this case, you've got all these classes. You can send them out as an email to your team and say, this is the courses I want you to take. Once they accept that, it populates into their ESRI dashboard, and it also populates into your ESRI dashboard, so you can monitor and manage the entire process. So if you had a team of 10 people that was taking an instructor-led course 30 or 60, 90 days from now, you can actually put a date in that and say, I want this completed by this date. And you can manage and monitor the whole process so that make sure that everybody's moving at the same pace, but so that there's not any people that are way behind. So once you get to the date that needs to be completed, everybody's done at the same time and they're ready to take the instructor-led course. It's really a great tool, and it can be edited. You can add courses, deduct or delete courses. And what's nice about it is it's really easy to do. If you go to the plan, you can add to wish list, copy the plan, assign the plan to your team, or share it with other people. Then when you go down here, you can edit the plan in your ESRI because everything is sitting in your academy under your dashboard. You would have to sign in, but it would be sitting in your dashboard. So it gives you the ability to, and this is not going to let me out, I guarantee it. Let me see if I can get some, oh, there it goes. So it gives you the ability to really manage the whole process from one end to the other and give people what they need from a learning and training experience. Certifications are core and specialty exams. If you want to get ESRI certified for whatever your area of interest is or whatever your skill set is, it could be, on the specialty side, it could be Python or JavaScript or utility network. on the poor side, it could be pro, could be desktop, it could be, enterprise. But we have exams. If you want to explore the exams, we have exams for associates, foundation, professionals, administration, enterprise, geodata management professionals, system designs. So there's a lot of different certifications out there. What's nice about this is we'll also give you the information on how to take the test, meaning what to study for and what not to study for, so you don't waste your time in the long run. They typically take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, depending on the test. They're not easy. I've got people I work with that we've been in ESRI for 20 years and took the test without studying, figuring they'd ace it. They got crushed. So they can be difficult. So there is a time invested in studying for the actual exams. Any questions on that whole process in the website itself? I mean, there's so many, take some time to kind of go through it. There's just so many areas that you can go in with course catalog, class schedule, your dashboard, your learning plans. I mean, it's got all the information you need. It'll give you up and coming MOOCs, new training and certification offerings. It gives you the news. It gives you from the blog. There's a ton of information on this website. And then obviously you can always contact me if you have any questions. Anything from the video? Okay, good. Please reach out to me. As I said, I support the Virginia and the Carolinas. So, even if I'm not the right person and there's somebody else supporting your city, your state, or I mean, your city or your county, I work in concert with them, and we all sit in the Charlotte office so I can communicate with them. We can get together and we'll talk about what your needs are going forward. But I appreciate the time. Thank you very much.